There, everyone. Hope you're having a great day. Welcome to another episode of From the Coach's Desk, where today we're going to be live reacting to this video on Investopedia about 9 tips for small business owners. I haven't seen it, haven't watched it, so we're going to live react and share our input and extra feedback on their advice. So let's get into it. 9 tips for growing a successful business.
Many people start a business believing all they need to do is open the doors and the money will start flowing in. It's much more difficult than that, but these 9 steps can help a new business succeed. First, get organized. Complete tasks and stay on top of what needs to be done. Create a to-do list and check off items as you complete them. Next.
All right, so first, let's talk about the get organized, right? I think a lot of people as small business owners get so caught up in the day-to-day, right? The activities of what they need to do. And it kind of goes back to the 3 mindsets from, the E-Myth, where we all get caught up in that technician mindset where we got to do. And that's so true. So create a system for yourself and make sure that you're spending time in the other 2 mindsets. So the entrepreneurial, which is kind of focused on the vision and the mission of your business, managerial, on the processes and the strategy side of your business. And then the technician, obviously doing what it is that you love, which is why you got into business in the first place. So I would totally agree. Get organized is definitely important when it comes to finances and leadership of your business. But let's jump into to number 2 here.
Next, keep detailed records so you always know where the business stands financially and what challenges await. Analyze.
All right, so detailed records. If you've heard me, you listen to me, absolutely. You need to keep track of finances and your data, especially when it comes to making smart business decisions. So the data that you keep is going to show you how healthy your business is, instead of just thinking off the cuff, our business is successful because you have sales, you actually have data behind it, and in order to create that data and create those metrics, you obviously have to have detailed records. So making sure you have financial statements, so you have a financial statement software that you're entering into on a regular basis, or you're outsourcing that to a bookkeeper. You need to have that from the beginning. Once you start doing sales, you have to keep detailed records. Otherwise, you're going to fall behind, and catching up isn't always easy. So let's jump into number 3, analyze competition.
Analyze your competition. They may be doing something you can implement yourself to make more money.
Okay, so obviously very high level video here. We're not getting into the detail into a lot of this stuff, which is fine. Analyzing your competition is important, but be careful. What I see with a lot of small business owners is that they just take their competition and sort of mirror it. So especially when it comes to their website creation and their wording and their messaging and their specials and all of this stuff. That's not the correct approach. Make yourself different. Stand out from the competition. So absolutely analyze them. But here's what you should be looking at. Not looking at what their messaging is or what their website looks like, but look at how you can be different. Approach it from the customer mindset and look at your competition's website and say, me as a customer, what would I be asking? What is left to the unknown by looking at my competition's website? And then as you develop your own website, you can take that information and utilize it and be more successful in your own business. So definitely analyze your competition, but don't mirror your competition, which is what I see a lot of small business owners do. Number 4.
Understand the risks and rewards. Taking the right risks is the key to being successful. But first ask, what's the downside? If you know the answer, you know the worst case scenario, and that can guide your difficult decisions. Be creative.
So understanding risk and rewards, as a as a business owner, we are taking the biggest risk of our lives, right? We have no guaranteed income. We're on our own. There's nobody there to give us a paycheck every other Friday, right? So being able to analyze what's our ROI, right? What is our upside? What is our downside? Well, your downside, as being a business owner, is that you just have to go back into the workforce, right? You just have to go back into corporate. Your upside is being successful. And using that upside to drive you to be more successful, I think, is the number one factor that drives a lot of business owners. But we're not all going to be successful. Especially when we go at it our own and we're not trained on how to run a business. And from the get go, we're not taught it. We're not taught how to be a business owner in school. We're not taught how to be an entrepreneur. A lot of entrepreneurs are self taught or they mirror successful entrepreneurs. And I think that's the number one thing that you need to do and keep in mind. Find somebody in the industry that you want to be successful in and mirror their success. Do what they do. Find somebody to hold you accountable. Business coaches are great, right? We are there just like any other star athlete. As a business coach, we help you create strategies, hold you accountable to those strategies, and then call out adjustments when needed. Because you, like a star athlete who's on the game field every single day, doing the day-to-day activities, may not see when a pivot is needed, but the coach on the sideline can help you do that. We can talk through those things. We're partners in your success. So I would definitely say understanding risk and rewards is important, and knowing when you have a bigger downside than you have upside and maybe looking to readjust.
Be open to new ideas and make your business stand out. Stay focused.
All right, be creative. Obviously, the general overview of this video is to be way high level, not get into any depth here, which is perfectly fine for a website like this. But being creative is important, and this is where it comes into our first strategy that I always work with any business owner is what is your market dominating position and how do you create that market dominating position so that you can message it and you use that messaging in every single one of your advertisements, your social media posts, your marketing efforts, and being creative by adjusting that to your target audience or your target clientele. So obviously, being creative is awesome. Sometimes some people try to get over creative and it kind of complicates things. So keeping your messaging simple so that your customer or your potential client can understand it is also just as important as being creative.
Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither is a lucrative business. It takes time to get the word out, so focus on short-term goals. Prepare.
Stay focused. Yes, stay focused is important. As she mentioned, right? Rome wasn't built in a day. Small business owners, what you do today is not going to pay off immediately tomorrow, but it pays off in 30, 60, 90 days. So that consistency, that repetition, the networking, right? If you go to a networking meeting, you're not guaranteed that you're going to get a new client or a new customer from that networking meeting, but continuing to show up, continuing to make the effort down the road is going to lead to your success. So if you listen to any successful entrepreneur or business owner, it wasn't overnight, right? It's because they continued to show up and they continued to stay focused, but they weren't just focused on the technician side, right? They were focused on investing into their business, investing into themselves in education, in effort. So 100% stay focused, keep moving forward no matter what, and continue to put in the effort.
Prepare to make sacrifices. Getting a business's doors open takes a lot of work, but that's just the start. In many instances, succeeding requires spending less time with family and friends. Provide great.
This one hits home for a lot of people, especially for me, right? Because what the hardest thing to do is to tell your family, your kids, your wife that you have to miss something because you have a meeting or you have something that you need to focus on, right? Being a small business owner definitely means that you are going to have to miss a sporting event. You're going to have to miss a family event. And the hardest thing to understand is that your family is not going to understand it because they're not in that mode, right? They are in a mode of work for a company, get a paycheck, and then show up to all your family stuff. But what you need to realize is that it's a short-term sacrifice because in the end, take 2 or 3 years, especially if your kids are young. You don't have to be at every sporting event because they're not going to remember it. But taking the time now to be successful, and when you they grow up and they can see and be around you even more because you're now more successful, that's what's going to matter. It's not going to be, did you make it to every Pee Wee game or anything like that. That to me comes from, our own personal want of wanting to be there, when in reality, um, you need to focus on your business. You need to focus on being successful. And it's a personal opinion, right? Some people are going to say no, but in reality, um, if you take time away to take 2 or 3 hours, think back to when you did it. Did you actually go back to work afterwards? Or did you have to take the kids out for ice cream, and then by then you were too tired and you never got back to work that day? Trust me, I'm speaking from personal experience. It's happened to me. I've had to learn to say no to some things because of, I need to stay focused on what I'm doing. So just know that you're going to have to make some sacrifices as you're operating a business.
Great customer service. Consumers will frequent businesses that take the best care of them. And finally,
Great customer service is number one. Um, this is where you are going to be able to build your referrals, right? Your clients are going to be your number one at the beginning. So leaving them with outstanding stories, outstanding experiences is what's going to be the difference between you being a successful business or somebody who, fails after a few years. So making sure that you take special care of your first few customers and your first few clients, that goes above and beyond, is going to be important. And then ongoing, continue to provide that same level of customer experience. Your customer is free advertising. Let's say you're in a landscaping business and you create a wonderful yard, a beautiful yard, and you go above and beyond. And you make sure you take all the extra steps to ensure that their yard looks great by providing the best mulch, providing, and making sure that the layer that you lay down under stone so that the weeds don't come through, right? And I know I'm not using all the right terms, but I'm a business coach. I'm not a landscaper. All those things are in place so that they don't have any issues afterwards. Who do you think they're going to refer when somebody says your yard looks great? Who did it? Or when they see a social media post about, hey, I need, I'm thinking about getting my landscaping done. Anybody know any good referrals? You. And by staying top of mind in your customer, you get that free advertising just by going above and beyond when you actually are performing the service of what you love and enjoy doing. And the hardest thing to do is actually training your employees to get that same experience. And the one thing, obviously we can see number 9 here. The one thing they don't talk about, which I would add as number 10, is when you have employees, take care of them. Employees are also, your first line of interaction with your customers. You can't make it out to every job site. You can't make it out to every customer technician call, or you can't serve every customer that comes into your store, but your employees do. So making sure that you create a positive work environment would be, kind of my next, kind of caveat to customer service would also be employee service. Take care of them, make them feel appreciated, give them, feedback on positive and negative things that are happening in their work, because they are going to be the ones that interact with your customers on a daily basis, and you want to make sure you take care of them. So let's hear what they have to say about number 9.
be consistent. Create long-term positive habits you use day in and day out to be successful, and the money will start coming in.
All right, so number 9, you heard me say it a couple earlier, right? Be consistent, post regularly, show up regularly, call customers, call clients. It all matters when it comes to being a business owner, because as you grow, as you put in the effort, those efforts will build upon what you did yesterday, and just showing up is going to be important. So, obviously, it's very high level. My thing would be that they should have talked about employees more. Like I said, I would add a number 10, like 10 tips, and one would be like employee management, employee service. Other than that, I think it's a good sort of entry level tip. But my advice would be use these as sort of like a guide. begin to put the effort in, begin to focus on your business, but don't get too caught up in the day to day. Make sure you're scheduling time for yourself. Make sure you're scheduling time to work on the business right from the get go. See, what I've spoken to a lot of potential clients is that they get so caught up in the day to day from the get go that they don't know how to get out of it. They don't know how to break free from the day to day. And this is where, if you are just starting out, you're listening to this, and you're just starting out the business, you have the opportunity now to kind of create that schedule of every Monday for the first 2 hours, I'm going to focus on my business. I'm not going to do anything in my business in terms of the day-to-day activities, but I'm going to focus on what's my strategies, where am I going, how am I posting social media, how am I doing my marketing, and those 2 to 3 hours every single week working on your business are just as important as the other 50 hours you're going to spend being in your business. So I hope you all enjoyed this episode of From the Coach's Desk. Again, please make sure you are subscribed to our YouTube channel here to make sure you get notified. We will post more of these from the coach's desk, where I'm going to be reviewing either live websites with some feedback, or these types of things where I see videos. We do live reacts and provide some input and additional feedback for you, the business owner, so to help you kind of reach that next level of success in your business. So I look forward to talking with you down below. If you're interested and you have any questions about how you can grow and be more successful in your business, or just getting started in your business, click down below. There's a link. I have a complimentary 15-minute phone call for any new client who wants to talk just through their business. So let's have a conversation. Let's see how we can make you more successful. I'm here. I'm Dave Warden. I'm from Triumph Coaching Group, and I'm trying to help every small business owner just be more successful every single day. Hope you have a great day. Keep triumphing. We'll talk to you soon.